Today, on Guess What I Found Out, we're going to discover some facts about early primate evolution. And here's the bold claim. Humans are just the latest remix in a 55 million year primate saga that started in the trees, went global and, provably began in Africa. Fossils, tools and genes all point the same direction. Curious George. Buckle up, Banana Bandit. If you've ever looked at your thumbs and thought, wow, built-in salad tongs, smash-like, evolution worked overtime for that grip. Meet the original tree gremlins, about 500 primate species, all variations on a theme, grasping hands and feet, nails not claws, forward-facing eyes for depth perception, generalist teeth for a flexible menu, and brains suspiciously big for their body size. These traits converge in the Paleocene-Eocene window, around 66 to 55 million years ago, right after the non-avian dinosaurs exited stage left and mammals said, "Our turn." Earliest whispers, Purgatorius, about 66 million years ago in Montana, a tiny arboreal ankle gymnast. Then the plesiadapiforms, squirrelish with primate-ish teeth, bridged the gap toward the first true primates around 55 million years ago, adipids and amomioids. Now we see the full kit. Nails, flexible joints, stereo vision, graspers and bigger brains. Translation: nature optimized for parkour and snack theft. If your life skills are also, jump, grab and locate snacks with precision optics, well, you should probably subscribe. Honestly, you're among friends here. So, enter the anthropoids, the ancestors of monkeys, apes and, us, about 40 million years ago. The earliest fossils, like Eosimius, actually show up in Asia. Bit of a plot twist, isn't it? But then, tectonics rather dramatically decide the itinerary. The Tethys Seaway narrows as Africa and Arabia slowly drift and eventually collide with Eurasia. Island chains start to appear. Those early anthropoid pioneers manage to island hop into Africa, where, surprisingly, they diversify like a reality show spin-off that for once actually works. From there, it's Old World versus New World monkeys. They split. Somehow, New World monkeys raft all the way to South America. Yes, you heard that right. Nature basically invented Uber Pool. Later on, when land connections reopen, traffic flows the other way, letting some African primates recolonize parts of Eurasia. So, around 23 million years ago, apes, those tailless, bigger-bodied, big-brained creatures with complex social lives, make their entrance. Proconsul, living about 20 million years ago in East Africa, is one of our earliest ape candidates. It's got a monkey-like body, ape-like teeth, and crucially, no tail. Then, a warm Miocene climate optimum, about 17 million years ago, transforms forests across Africa, Europe and Asia into sprawling ape playgrounds. But things change. When the climate cools sharply at the end of the Miocene, Eurasian apes like Dryopithecus, living between 12 and 9 million years ago, get absolutely wrecked as forests shrink. The survivors? They hunker down in Africa and Southeast Asia, setting the stage for gorillas, chimps and hominins in Africa, and orangutans and gibbons in Asia. Around 7 million years ago, our lineage splits from the chimpanzee line. The defining feature? Bipedalism, walking on two legs. Africa is the stage, and fossils are the receipts. Sahelanthropus, from about 7 million years ago in Chad, has a foramen magnum positioned more forward, meaning the head is balanced for upright posture. Ororin, around 6 million years ago in Kenya, shows a femur head built for load-bearing, an upright stance. Ardipithecus, known as Ardi, from about 4.5 million years ago in Ethiopia, sports a B-shaped pelvis, inward-angled knees and a forward foramen magnum, a habitual biped with a grippy divergent big toe for tree life. Australopithecus, living from about 4 to 1 million years ago, goes all in on upright walking. Lucy, an Australopithecus afarensis, shows spinal and pelvic adaptations, and the Laetoli footprints, dating to about 3.6 million years ago, reveal a heel strike to toe-off gait, and even hint at group travel, giving us some real family vibes. So, why walk? Well, there's not just one magic reason, but rather a whole stack of pressures. Patchy woodlands meant more efficient travel was needed. There's thermoregulation in open habitats, postural feeding, and of course, hands freed up for carrying food, babies, and eventually, maybe even a bit of drama. If your so-called fitness routine is mostly just standing up to reach snacks, well, follow along. You're actually continuing a proud hominin tradition. Earliest known tools, you ask? Lomekwi choppers from about 3.3 million years ago in Kenya. Maker still to be determined. And then, not long after, Homo habilis, less than 3 million years ago in East Africa, rolls in with Oldowan choppers for butchery and scavenging. Then comes the franchise star Homo erectus, from around 2 to 1.8 million years ago. Longer legs than arms, permanently bipedal, bigger brains, and Acheulean hand axes sharp enough to slice your self-esteem. Erectus leaves Africa, colonizes Eurasia, and honestly, lasts forever in evolutionary time. Some folks split African forms as Homo ergaster, while others keep it all under the erectus umbrella. Family arguments, classic stuff. Homo sapiens shows up by around 300,000 years ago in what is now Morocco. Now, there were competing ideas about our origins, but, genetics really crush the debate. The deepest human genetic diversity is found in Africa, which means the longest period of evolution happened there. All non-Africans descend from small populations that left about 50,000 years ago, and they had some rather charming layovers, mingling with Neanderthals and Denisovans along the way. But why did we win? Well, Africa boasted a sprawling Pan-African social web, people, goods and ideas moving across vast distances for hundreds of thousands of years. Think ostrich eggshell beads, obsidian, pigments traded far and wide. Cycles of isolation and reconnection sparked innovation. Gift networks like the Sanzaro created resilience, and genetic diversity protected against extinction, and honestly accelerated this wonderful mosaic evolution. We didn't just survive, we iterated. Finds like Danuvius, dating to about 11 million years ago in Germany, suggest extended limb climbing, upright mechanics in Europe long before hominins. Some folks argue for European origins with a return to Africa, but the fossil gap is, well, huge, and genetics still scream Africa. Also, early Homo sapiens outside Africa, like Mislia in Israel, roughly 194 to 177,000 years ago, and Apidema in Greece, about 210,000 years ago, show early excursions that just didn't stick long-term. Fascinating detours, but, same destination. So, just a bold claim reminder. Humans are the latest remix of a 55 million year primate story that starts in the trees and begins in Africa. We showed it by first, primate traits converging after the dinos, hands, nails, eyes, brains. Second, anthropoids diversifying and landing in Africa before the big expansion. Third, apes rising with Miocene warmth, then retreating with the cool down. Fourth, hominins walking upright in Africa. Fossils and footprints confirm it. And fifth, Homo tools, Homo erectus migrations, and genetics cementing an African origin for Homo sapiens, with a global spread and, well, some spicy interbreeding on the way out. Curious, George? Got other primate fun facts or fossil hot takes? Drop them in the comments. I'll pin the one that makes my prefrontal cortex purr.